Yo, what's up people? For this video I'm going to be giving my top 10 games for this console generation. A lot of games released in the last 7 years, so it took me a while to narrow it down to just 10, but these are the games that left a good impression on me years later. So this list is in no particular order, these are just some of my favorite games. So coming in at number 10 is going to be Control. So this was my game of the year for 2019. I always have a hard time describing this game to people because it's like you play a character who has Star Wars force powers and a shape-shifting gun who can talk to an unseen entity. That's pretty much the story for Control. This game is amazing though, but I can't recommend it to everybody because you gotta be into a certain type of games to enjoy this one. The story is super complex and in-depth, so you gotta read a lot of the lore which you find as collectibles. There are these declassified files. But what I like about this game more than anything was the environment. This game isn't a horror game, it's not scary, but it is super creepy and dark, and it makes you feel uneasy, and I like that. So it's kind of like a, I guess, suspense or thriller type of game. And the entire game takes place in a building that's constantly moving and shifting. It's connected to other dimensions, and yeah, like I said, this game's story is a lot, but that's why I like it. Also, the Star Wars force powers they're pretty fun. Like, you can pull out chunks of the ground, put it in front of you as a shield, and then blast it forward at people. There's mind control abilities, and you can just lift up people, choke them out, and then throw their bodies at other people. So coming in at number 9 is actually going to be the Dishonored series. Yes, I'm going to cheat. It's my video, so I'm going to put 2 games in one slot. So the reason I put both of them here is Dishonored 1, I thought the story was much better for that game, but the gameplay for Dishonored 2 was just so much better. So this game, you play as an assassin that has magic powers. So you were the queen's bodyguard, she got assassinated and you were framed, then you pretty much have to go clear your name by finding out who was responsible for it. And yeah, like I said, you get to play a first person Assassin's Creed with magic powers. It's pretty fucking dope, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're into stealth games, you can check this out. If you are into action games, you can also check this out. What I like about this game is yeah, you can play however you want. If you want to play stealthy, that's cool. If you want to play like me and go around and just kill everyone in sight, you can also do that. The game also has a karmic system, so if you choose to kill people, then you'll get the bad ending, but you can just go through the entire game without killing a single person. You can just knock them out, pacify them, whatever, and you get a good karmic ending. But that's too much work, and also it's a lot of fun to just throw people off buildings with your magic powers. So yeah, I went that route. So that's the first Dishonored game. The second one, the story's a bit different. You actually get to play the assassin's daughter this time around, and they pretty much just up the ante for everything gameplay wise. Dishonored 2 has 2 of my favorite levels out of, I think, any games I've ever played. One of them is called the Clockwork Mansion. This is a fully automated stage. They're like these 12-foot tall robots that you have to fight, and similarly to Control, this house is also moving around all the time. You can go below the floors or through the walls for the shifting platforms. Yeah, the stage is just one giant puzzle, and I love it. Yeah, Dishonored 2, an amazing game. So if you have not tried any of these games from this franchise, I can highly recommend them. So number 8 is going to be the Wolfenstein series. This is the same as with the Dishonored series. I like the story of Wolfenstein 1 more, but the gameplay for Wolfenstein 2 is much better. So in this series, you play as Captain BJ Blazkowicz, who's head of the Nazi resistance. Yeah, in this universe, the Nazis won the World War and they have taken over the world. So in these 2 games, you just work to take out the leaders and make the world safe again. The story for the first game is better to me because it's not as over the top as the second game. Well, don't get me wrong, this game is completely over the top. Like, you go to the bottom of the sea floor in some underground labyrinth to find a power suit that turns you almost invincible, and a few hours later you attack a command post and sneak onto a rocket because the resistance gotta send BJ to space. Can you imagine getting a BJ in space? There's like 0 gravity up there. Like, there'd be nothing suspending you. I wonder how much it costs to go to space. I feel like it is something I have to do in my life now. What was I talking about? Alright, Wolfenstein. What the fuck is wrong with me? Where was I? Yeah, so you gotta sneak onto a rocket because they gotta send BJ to space so you can get codes from a Nazi moon base. You get to space, walk on the moon, and shoot laser rifles. Like, those are the 2 high points of Wolfenstein 1 for me. I found it pretty hard for them to beat that. And I was right, they couldn't top that in the second game. But what they could top was the gameplay. And they also did that pretty good. So that same power suit, you get it in Wolfenstein 2, and they give you a whole bunch of upgrades. There's a whole bunch of upgrades. There's this fucking laser cannon that sounds so cool when you charge it up. I don't know what more I have to say to sell you on the series. If you have not played the Wolfenstein games, go check them out. So coming in at number 7, it should be a surprise to no one, but Apex Legends. This is actually the only Battle Royale game that I currently play and that I actually like. I've tried Battle Royale games for years and I've always hated them. I would say the game I played the longest before this was probably Fortnite, and that was for like 2, maybe 3 months, but I stopped enjoying that either because that game prioritizes building over shooting mechanics. So yeah, it got to the point where you'd shoot at someone and they'd build a 5-story hotel with Wi-Fi rather than shoot back at you. So when the game got to that stage, I was like, alright, yeah, I'm done. And then I tried Apex Legends, and I remember telling my friend in this was before season 1 when the game just launched. I was just like, this game has potential, but it's just not there yet. Season 1 came around, they launched with Octane, was just like, it's getting there, still not there yet. Season 2 was Watson, they started changing up King's Canyon, and I was like, okay, getting there, but nah, I'm still not hooked yet. And then it happened. Season 3, they launched World's Edge, and they launched Crypto, and that's when I got hooked. That's actually also the same season I started doing my Apex guides, and yeah, the rest is history. I just been playing Apex for about a year straight since then. If you subscribe to me because of Apex videos, I have a lot more videos planned outside of the character guide, so you can look forward to those next year. But Apex Legends is a great game, content-wise, also character-wise. I love Caustic. I think that's why I got hooked to season 3, because I was finally able to play Caustic, because he's not that well suited for King's Canyon back then. Well, that was before his buffs, so he's in a much better place now. And yeah, once I started to main Caustic, I really started enjoying this game. And coming in at number 6, this should be a no-brainer, but Grand Theft Auto 5. Great game, the campaign super funny. I beat it like 6 times. Now technically I know this game launched on the PS3, so this would have been in the generation before this, but I put this on this list for not GTA 5, but more specifically GTA Online is what I want to talk about. And the reason it's on this list is because last gen they didn't really do much with it, but this gen I think it's because they had the hardware to be able to pull off what they wanted. This game just fucking blew up, and it is still going strong. New DLC just dropped yesterday, and I actually have 2 videos in the works for that, so if you subscribe to me for GTA videos, you can look forward to those. But yeah, 7 years, this game outlasted an entire generation, and it is still going strong. Rockstar clearly know what they're doing, because the content is always fun. There's so much to do in GTA Online. This is one of those few games that has content coming out all the time, but if you don't play, it's fine. You can always come back, and it never seems like overwhelming or I don't know what to do when you come back. GTA is just, it's always a good time with friends. If you're bored, just pick up GTA 5. A lot of stuff has changed, but being fun is not one of the things that's changed, surprisingly. So Rainbow Six Siege is one hell of a game. There is no game out there that can give you the same experience as playing this game, and I mean that in both the good ways and the bad ways. There's no other game out there that is as rewarding as this game. When you pull off strats and you get aces and clutches, especially after your enemy team is talking shit, and you win and there's just silence in team chat, it's just, there is no better feeling out there. So yeah, I will give Siege the award for most satisfying feeling when you get a clutch or an ace. Played this game for the past 5 years, like I said, from alpha right up until I stopped playing this year. And I've been making videos for this for I think 3 or 4 years. So yeah, Rainbow Six has been one of my favorite games ever. I don't play it anymore because I don't like the direction that they were heading in terms of the characters and a lot of the changes that they were making. Yeah, I just didn't like the direction they were going, so I stopped playing. I do still keep up with it. I watch Pro League, and I still keep up with what characters come out, but I'll probably never play it again. I'll watch other people play it, but I won't play it again. But I do still love this game. Yeah, funnily enough, me losing interest in Rainbow Six Siege is actually what led to me playing Apex more often, so funny how that works out. So coming in at number 4 is gonna be The Division. And the only reason I got into this game is, funny enough, I hated it at first. I played the beta and was just like, this reminds me of Division 1, I don't like it. And because Anthem failed and I had nothing else to play, I decided to give this a second try. And yeah, I'm pretty glad that I did. Yeah, the game was a little bit rough when it first launched in terms of loot and everything, but they've come so far. The last update they dropped was called the Summit. Pretty much like a tower, 100 floors. You just go through, kill enemies, different objectives, different enemy types. The replayability is insane. So Division 2 has become one of my favorite RPGs. I got like 1,200 hours on this game. Played it for a long time on PS4, got a PC, rebought it on that, and I just kept playing. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Titanfall 2. If you play Apex Legends, then you should play this game. I say that people all the time. Titanfall 2 is what inspired Apex Legends. It is a fantastic game, and it's one of the very few games that has a good campaign for the FPS. Well, sorry, good is an understatement. A great campaign. All of your favorite guns that you think are so OP in Apex, like the Wingman and the R99, they're actually nerfed in Apex. Those guns do a lot worse in Titanfall 2. And I know that sounds bad, but the game is actually super fun. So the Wingman is pretty much still a pocket sniper, but it just has a faster fire rate. The R99 still shreds. There's the alternator. The Mozambique is actually a good gun. It's trash in Apex. Like I said, all the guns got nerfed for balancing reasons for Apex, but in Titanfall 2, all the guns are just super OP, and it's fun. And if you think that Apex is smooth because you get to slide and jump around, nah, you haven't seen anything. So take that smoothness from sliding in Apex, but in Titanfall 2 you get that, plus you can wall run, and you can double jump, and you have Pathfinder's grapple that extends like twice the distance. So the gameplay is extremely satisfying, and that's just half the formula. Apex doesn't have Titans. The Titans in Titanfall 2 make up half the gameplay. You get to control like these 20-foot tall robots. They're super powerful, but they're not OP because each of these Titans kind of have their own counters. Also, you as the infantry level players, you can take down these Titans with no issues. So if you can only really have trouble fighting them if you came across like a really good Titan player, but other than that, they were nothing to be afraid of. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima I was super hyped about. I was talking about it in my, I think, 2018 or 2019 E3 video, and then I heard nothing about it for like an entire year. And by the time I finished beating Last of Us 2 and I started being active on Twitter again, I'm seeing all these clips and everyone losing their mind at the samurai game. I'm just like, what game is this? Like, what have I missed out on? Because they were, if you ever seen the clips for Ghost of Tsushima, like, people are throwing arrows and bombs and they're doing grappling hooks and stealth assassinating people. I'm just like, what game is this? Did they release a new Assassin's Creed that, because this actually looks a lot better than the last ones? Nope. Same Ghost of Tsushima. So this was a case of other players actually did marketing for that game better than the actual studio, in my opinion. So I saw a lot of those clips. I went and watched streams and I was just like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And again, it's one of those games I regretted not playing as soon as it launched. Ghost of Tsushima was fucking amazing. I actually dropped a review for this. I dropped a review for all these games I talked about, so I will leave a playlist for those at the end. But yeah, story for this, amazing. Customization, amazing. The combat was so satisfying. A lot of the issues that I had with the game that I talked about in my review, I gave it a pretty high score, but I just had 2 issues with it. Those got patched. They added New Game Plus mode, they added multiplayer, they added a raid mode. So in my review, I gave this game a 9 out of 10. Ghost of Tsushima currently is now a 10 out of 10. So if you own a PS4, this is a must buy. And last but not least, coming in at number 1 is going to be Doom Eternal. I was thinking about putting both of the Doom games here, Doom 2016 and this one, but Doom 2016, I like the story. The gameplay, not so much, kind of felt a bit repetitive towards the end. But Doom Eternal just beat that all around. Story, gameplay, a lot of quality of life changes, just everything. Doom Eternal, another 10 out of 10 game. I actually think it's on Xbox Game Pass right now, so you could go and check it out. For like $2, highly recommend this game. This is the only game that kind of made me rage quit as of this year for one enemy, the Marauders. I fucking hate them. But yeah, Doom Eternal is so satisfying, gameplay wise, and the story and the music is also pretty good. Like, you're just slaying a bunch of demons while Mick Gordon rock music is playing in the background. It is a pretty amazing experience, and those are my top 10 games for this console generation. What are some of your favorite games that released over the last 7 years? Feel free to drop them in the comment section down below, and subscribe for more gaming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.